The distress signal reached Earth at 3:47 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Mirada Chen, commander of the Terran Defense Fleet, stood frozen as the holographic display showed the empty coordinates where the colony ship New Haven should have been. 300 children. Gone. Commander, we're detecting residual Krellian energy signatures. Indiana Torres, her tactical officer, reported, his voice tight with barely controlled rage. They took them. The Krellians had been testing humanity's boundaries for years, but this was different. They'd crossed a line from which there was no return. Mirada's fingers curled into fists. Get me Admiral Morrison. Now! Within hours, Earth's response was unanimous. The United Nations Assembly voted 197-0. For the first time in human history, every nation spoke with one voice: return our children, or face the consequences. The Krellian ambassador's response came 12 hours later, dripping with arrogance. Your offspring will serve the Empire well. Consider it an honor that we chose them for our breeding programs. Humanity's genetic diversity will strengthen our species. Indiana watched Mirada's expression shift from fury to something far more dangerous. Cold, calculated determination. They think we're weak, she said quietly. They think because we value life, we won't do what needs to be done. Commander? Indiana asked. Prep Project Helios. All of it. Indiana's eyes widened. Project Helios was humanity's most closely guarded secret. A weapon so devastating that its very existence had been debated for decades. It could destabilize a star, causing it to collapse or explode. They'd never tested it on anything larger than a dying dwarf star in an uninhabited system. Mirada, their homeworld, orbits a G-class star. I know exactly what it means, she cut him off. Send the message to Krell Prime. You have 72 hours to return every child unharmed. This is not a negotiation. The Krellian response was swift and mocking. Their emperor himself appeared on the communication channel, his 6 eyes gleaming with amusement. Humanity makes threats? You who still debate the ethics of genetic modification while we reshape galaxies? We have taken what we wanted. Accept your place. Mirada turned to Indiana. Launch the probes. 61 hours later, 500 stealth probes surrounded the Krellian sun, each one no larger than a basketball, invisible to their sensors. Humanity had learned patience from predators, precision from their machines, and ruthlessness from their history. Children are aboard transport vessels heading back to human space, the intelligence officer reported. All 300 accounted for. Medical scans show they're unharmed but sedated. How long until they clear the system? Mirada asked. 8 hours, Commander. She nodded. Indiana, set the timer for 8 hours, 15 minutes. The evacuation of Krell Prime began in hour 68. The Emperor's bravado crumbled when humanity's final message arrived. Not a threat, but a simple mathematical equation showing the energy output of their sun increasing by 0.03% every minute. You're bluffing, the Emperor screamed over the comms. No species would dare. We asked for our children, Mirada responded calmly. You gave us a lecture on accepting our place. Let me teach you about humanity's place. We are the species that split the atom before we left our planet. We turned fusion into weapons before we turned it into engines. We are the children of a death world who learned to love peace but never forgot how to wage war. Indiana monitored the readings, solar output increasing as predicted. Their scientists are beginning to panic. The Krellian Armada, the pride of their empire, scrambled to evacuate their homeworld. 14 billion Krellians fled as their sun began to pulse irregularly. Their emperor's final transmission was barely coherent. How? How can you do this? Mirada's response was broadcast on all frequencies, ensuring every spacefaring civilization would hear it. You stole our children. Did you think we would negotiate? Did you think we would plead? Humanity doesn't conquer worlds. We protect our own. And for our children, we will burn stars. At hour 72, with the last human child safely aboard Earth vessels, Project Helios activated fully. The Krellian sun didn't explode. That would have been merciful. Instead, it began a rapid expansion, a premature journey toward red giant status that would take days instead of billions of years. The inner planets, including Krell Prime, would be slowly consumed. The galactic community watched in horrified silence as Earth's fleet departed the system, leaving behind monitoring stations that broadcast the sun's death throes to every corner of known space. The message was clear. Humanity could end worlds without firing a single conventional weapon. Was it worth it? Indiana asked Murata as they watched the children being reunited with their families on Earth. We've just become the monsters of every species' nightmares. Murata watched a little girl run into her mother's arms, tears streaming down both their faces. They took our children, Indiana. They thought our compassion was weakness. Let the galaxy fear us. Fear keeps predators at bay. And if being monsters keeps our children safe, then monsters will be. The Krellian Empire collapsed within a month, their remaining worlds surrendering unconditionally to human protection. No species ever took a human child again. In the galactic archives, the incident was recorded simply: the humans erased a son for 300 children. Approach with extreme caution. But humanity's children? They slept safely in their beds, protected by the species that would burn the heavens themselves to keep them safe.